You can dip with us as we travel around Cape Town's unique coast and reveal some of the most beautiful tidal pools. You'll have to wait until the end of this episode to find out exactly where we're dipping this week. I can tell you it's a magical spot along the Atlantic seaboard coastline. Our location for this episode has 2 pools to choose from, with a boulder-lined beach in between, the perfect spot for an adventurous dip. There is a sense of freedom and connection to nature that comes with being in a tidal pool, which you just cannot experience in a gym pool. The natural and man-made pools along the Cape Coast provide a safe and unique setting to experience the exhilaration of the chilly waters. An ideal way to cool off on a hot summer's day, or to reap the benefits of cold water immersion therapy. This pool has a special history as it was one of the few beaches that was open to non-white residents during South Africa's apartheid regime, quite unique given its location in what was then a whites-only area. The tidal pools in the Western Cape have a fascinating and complex history. They are a much-needed space for people to safely access the ocean and enjoy its wonders. A place to swim and dip without having to navigate crashing waves or rip currents. The first tidal pools that were built in South Africa were not actually intended to be used as swimming pools. Fishermen would close off rocky coves along the shore to catch fish. These fishing and whaling pools would eventually be used for bathing and swimming in the late 1800s. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, coastal development and resorts became popular in the United Kingdom. At this time, South Africa was a British colony, and so these popular resorts were recreated here. The development of the railway lines also played a part in coastal towns being developed. The need for tidal pools increased as the coastline resorts were built and more people were visiting and living in these newly created areas. The first proper tidal pool in Cape Town was built in Sea Point in the late 1890s. From here, more pools were built along the Atlantic seaboard to Camps Bay. From 1910, tidal pools were built on the False Bay coast, from St. James to Cork Bay. The Glencairn tidal pool was built in the 1930s, and from there pools within the Cape Point area were established. And finally, in the 1960s, Millers Point tidal pool was constructed. Now we've covered some of the history of our beautiful pools, it's time to tell you more about the pool we are visiting in this episode. This gorgeous location will have you wanting to spend a couple of hours here at least. The crystal clear Atlantic waters provide a refreshing chill on a summer's day. With 2 pools to choose from, as well as the coastline in between, it's ideal for multiple dips. The boulders and shell-covered beach are not only pretty to look at, but also fun to explore. The pool closest to the entrance is smaller and requires some clambering over rocks to get to, but it is quite accessible if you enjoy a little adventure. The second pool is bigger and very accessible from the beach. It also has walls that can be walked along at low tide. This beach is a very popular spot in the summer, as it is one of the few beaches here that has braai facilities. Behind the beach are lawns, which are ideal for setting up a picnic spot. With views of the 12 Apostle mountain range and the vast Atlantic waters, it is definitely the perfect spot to watch the sunset. So now we can reveal the location of our first dip. Nestled between Clifton and Glen Beach, it's Maiden's Cove. We hope you'll be visiting this pool soon. Hit the subscribe button to find out where we'll be dipping next.